Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is trickling in here and able to get online. Welcome to our 2020 NSDCAR Young Professionals Network Top Producer Panel, COVID style, virtual this year. Thank you all so much for joining us. We have some really awesome content planned for this hour to learn from some top producing real estate professionals in our North County area. So thank you all for joining us. Before we get started, I wanted to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. Thank you so much for supporting us this year throughout all the ups and downs and interesting year that we've had. Huge shout out to Oakwood Escrow, Rancho Ted, and Jake Caesar with State Farm for being our platinum sponsors this year. And to our gold sponsors, Windermere Homes and Estates, Bird's Eye Home Inspection, Team Mortgage, and A Better Home Inspection. We really appreciate you all making this year possible for us. Big shout out to everybody who supported, and we're just coming off of our month of giving in August. We were able to raise over $1,000 for interfaith community services. So awesome to see how we can come together as an association and support our community, and excited to see what we learned today. So thank you all for joining us. Big shout out to Tani Vargas. Tani is with Oakwood Escrow, and they're one of our sponsors, but Tani has been such a great supporter of YPN and our committee and agreed to moderate this event for us. Thank you, Tani.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and we're kind of on a late start, so I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to you. And anybody attending, if you have any questions along the way, we have some questions that our Young Professionals Network Committee came up with to ask our great panelists. And if you have any other questions that pop up, if you want to put those in the chat, we'll be sure to ask our panelists at the end. But for now, take it away, Tani.
Thank you, Melody. Okay, well, we're just going to get things, as she said, we're running a bit late, so let's get things going, and excited to introduce our guests today. So first we have Ilana Huff. She's with the Huff team of Compass, 15 years of experience and over 600 transactions. Ilana knows what it takes to get a deal done and is in the highest level of her service. She and her family moved from Mexico City to Solana Beach when she was just 9 years old, grew up in North County, and now raising her family here in San Diego. She's fluent in Spanish and a proud mom of 4 beautiful children. Next up, we have Charissa Carlson and James George with the British real estate team of eXp Realty. George, if you're looking for a realtor who is just your cup of tea, he is the man you're looking for as your agent. He's from Salisbury, England, has a degree in journalism. While attending college, he worked in sales, broke multiple sales records, was a radio and sports enthusiast, and he's also been featured on the equivalent of Survivor overseas, and is the creator of the British real estate team. Charissa is a native to California. She has over 17 years of experience, real estate agent here in San Diego. And when she's not guiding everybody through their home buying and selling journeys, she's usually spending time with her husband and her beautiful children, and is very active in volunteering in the community. And last but not least, we have Mike and Jessica Solis of the Solis team of Keller Williams Carlsbad. Mike and Jessica are North County natives who opened the first Keller Williams mega agent office in downtown Oceanside with just a small team of 7 who's grown. Together, they have sold over 200 homes, been featured on HGTV, which we all love, and recipients of prestigious awards such as Keller Williams Triple Gold Award of 2019, San Diego Union Tribune, and San Diego Association of Realtors Circle of Excellence Awards for Top Agent Producer of 2016 through 2019. So those are our players, top panelists for today, and we're just going to kick it off with some questions. So we got a little bit of tidbit of who you guys are. One of the biggest questions is why you got started in real estate altogether. So I'm going to throw this first one out to Ilana. What made you even want to get into real estate?
That's a tough one because it just goes through different branches, right? I've stay-at-home mom. I actually know I'm going to back up. I actually managed the Belly Up Tavern before I got into real estate, and I managed it while I was in real estate. So I've always been part of the serving industry and just taking care of clients. When we first bought our first home and sold our first home, just the experience was not there, being in the service industry way. So I knew there had to be a better way, and obviously I didn't hire the right agents to do both, either buy the house or sell the house. So I wanted to be, I knew I could do it better, and I knew I can service the client better. I knew I wasn't being heard. No one was listening to my needs. It was more about them. So when my first two kids were old enough to go to school, I decided to get my real estate license, thinking like everybody, I'll just do it part-time. However, I've been blessed and, been doing it full-time, never looking back. Actually been doing it for 17 years and, have not looked back.
Well, congratulations. We're happy to have you here. And let's go to Mike and Jessica. Same question to you. What brought you into real estate altogether?
Well, first I want to say I'm really excited to be, I look up to you guys, Ilana, the British team. I think it's really great to be a part of this. So thanks for inviting us. For us, or for me, I guess I should say, I started out a little bit before Jess, and I was always in sales. And ended up working in restaurants and didn't really know what I was going to do. My aunt and uncle were actually both brokers. My mom was a mortgage lender at a point, and I was like, you know what? Let's give this a shot back in 2011. And I got my license against everybody else's. They really wanted me to go a different direction. They wanted me to go to school. And I didn't do that. I ended up getting my license and just jumped right in and really fell into the industry, fell in love with helping people. And it kind of just took off from there. And then after that, just jumped in, and it was a lot of fun.
Like Ilana said, it was 2015. I was in college, and I did it one summer. I got my license to help him because he was busy, expecting just to do it part-time. And then after that, I dropped out of college and full-time.
I feel like it seems to be once you get going, it becomes addicting, although it could be a little bit stressful, a little scary at first to hop in, but once you get the ball rolling, you really become that standout agent. So I'm going to go to James. I know you had quite the journey to get to real estate. How about you?
Yeah, so I had no history in real estate at all when I came to the US. What was it, three and a half years ago? And when I first came over, I knew that I wanted to do a job which used all of my skills. I wanted to have something which was flexible. I didn't want to do a 9 to 5, and let's face it, real estate definitely isn't that. And I've always been fascinated with architecture and real estate. So my idea was, why not do a job where my office is hopefully a stunning house overlooking the ocean. And so that was my main incentive, to do something that was flexible, that I knew I'd enjoy, that I knew I could use my skills in things like marketing and negotiating. And in the UK, you can't really earn that much money as a real estate agent. Completely different system. And then when I came here and then someone said you can earn 2.5% per deal, 5-6% both deals, I've got to admit that when I worked out the math and I was like, there's a lot of homes for $1 million plus here, financially, it also made sense as well. Because let's face it, living in California, you've got to earn a decent income just to survive. So that was one of the incentives as well. Whilst that's not my why, money, it also, you've got to earn decent money to live here. So that was one of the key things in making that decision.
Absolutely. And it's a common misconception that agents have an easy job, which they don't. It's actually very difficult to be an agent, and it's more than just passing the test, if you can all attest to. So I'll go to Teresa. How about you? How'd you get into real estate?
I started on the lending side. I worked for a jumbo lender back in the day, pre-2008 shutdown. And I just kind of naturally went from, my clients were loan officers. And so I switched over, got my real estate license. I did loans for a while and then just kind of naturally fell into real estate. Like Ilana, I have 4 kids. So it really is a career, although you can be crazy busy, it's a career that works with having children. You're not, 9 to 5 gone all the time, and with my children quite a bit. So just kind of naturally has worked for me. Yeah.
I love it. Well, now the majority, if not all of you, are part of a team. So I know that there's a lot of agents out there who may be on the tipping point where they're ready to start a team, get a team started, or maybe they need to start delegating tasks, but they're not even sure how to. So I really want to dive into running a team and how that even came about and some of your challenges and how you overcame those. So I'm going to throw this to Mike and Jessica, since you did help to open Keller Williams.
Yeah, so for us, it happened really naturally and organic. We're at KW for about 4 years now, since 2016. So yeah, and I was helping a lot of the coaching and the training, and I really found that I was enjoying seeing other people grow. The training that was essentially, given to us through KW. So as we started doing a lot of those trainings, we started meeting a lot of great people, and again, kind of putting ourselves in a position where we really were finding a lot of fulfillment in helping other people. So we just had a couple of newer agents come to us and say, hey guys, are you guys interested in maybe having someone on your team and mentoring? And at the time, that didn't even really seem to make any sense at all, because we're nowhere in our business, I felt, to really start growing a team. However, I spoke to a couple of our coaches and some of the leadership, and they are so amazing. They completely supported us, and they said, hey, listen, there's no real mold to building a team. Yeah, there's books on how buyer's agents, there's training on a listing agent, and having showing assistants, and all of those things are fantastic. And as we actually start to progress, we are starting to kind of put those pieces into place. But in the very beginning, it wasn't like that. It was very kind of just, again, organic. So as we started bringing people in, we were looking more for partners, right? People that we could essentially grow with. And it worked out really well, right? It was a space that was great to mastermind, to work through challenges together, to support each other. And again, to grow. Now we are moving into a position where we do have definitely people on our team who are lead listing agents, or who are buyer's agents or showing assistants. We have a mentor program now. So it's really great, kind of a long-winded answer to the question, I think, but for us, it really was very organic. It wasn't something that we woke up one morning and said, hey, we're going to hire an assistant, we're going to hire a buyer's agent. And I know a lot of teams, great teams, that do that, and it just wasn't our model.
I love that, because I think there is, it's commonly thought that there is a perfect structure, and you're a testament to showing that no, it doesn't have to be like that, and it's working for you. Let's go to James, because I know that you also have a large team. How did you know when you were ready to start a team?
Well, I came into real estate slightly differently to a lot of people, because I came in knowing that within a few months I was going to start a team. So I had a business in the UK that we franchised. We franchised it across the country. We had over 100 people working underneath us. So I knew coming into this that I didn't want to be a solo agent doing 50 deals, working 24/7, and never being able to take a moment off. I always looked at it and thought, right, I'm going to set up a business that has structure. The truth is, I probably didn't hire correctly to begin with. I probably rushed into it a bit too quickly and didn't really have the right structure to begin with. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. It was only in the past year that I've really been able to get a really good structure, where I took on a full-time assistant, which was massive for me. And I actually feel that is more important than taking on other agents. So I highly recommend everyone, if they're looking to expand a team, get an assistant first, get them full-time, get them I'm learning now, it'd be useful for her to be also licensed. So take someone on, get them to get their license, make them your right-hand man or lady. And that would be my first thing. And then buyers. It's time consuming working with buyers. It is impossible for a real estate agent to be good at every single asset of the job. You are not good at marketing, at negotiating, at handling buying and selling. You are not good at everything. No one in the world is. So hire people around you that have things that you're not good at. Hire a good assistant. I'm not, amazing at admin. There's certain things that I'm not good at. I'm not great at attention to detail sometimes. Bringing on other people that are really good at different things is great. And then I met Charissa what was it, the end of last year. And she's got 17 years experience, way more than what I've got. She had this massive database of people, and I was just like, and we just clicked straight away. And at that point I was like, I could really do with some help with listings as well. So I brought on Charissa to help with my whole business, but also to be able to really help with a lot of the jobs which I don't enjoy in regards to the listing process. I love marketing, I love negotiating, but there's a lot of it that I don't enjoy. Charissa is amazing with clients, and we work as a great team. So I would highly advise people to work as a team. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be top dog and have loads of people underneath you. Find someone that you get on well with, that you could work with, and have two of you where you can work together. There's lots of, as they mentioned earlier, there's lots of different ways that you can do it, but working as part of a team, I highly advise it.
That's great. And Charissa, so did you have reservations about joining a team before, since you were already successful, or how did that transition go for you?
No, for me, it was exactly what I'd been looking for. And again, like James said, I would highly recommend at least some type of collaboration with people. I've been going from brokerage to brokerage over the last 17 years. And really what I was missing and what I was looking for and realized this last year was collaboration. And it's not that you can't find that at, A, B, and C brokerage. It's just at the places I was at, no one really wanted to collaborate. It's more money in your pocket, I guess, if you can make it on your own. For me, it's not just about money. I want to have fun. I want to be encouraged. I want to encourage others in what I'm doing. So for me, it was a natural fit to find somebody that, I can work well together. For James, it's great because him and I were totally different and then totally complementary. So when we go to listing appointments, we're offering kind of totally two different people, two different skill sets, for essentially the price of one. So I've been loving it. We've been doing great as a team and building our team together. It's been just honestly just more fun in real estate. I have a husband, and when I talk to him about real estate, even 17 years later, it's like I'm speaking Chinese to him. He does not understand what I'm talking about. So now I have my little family of my team family that I can discuss real estate with. And, you have ups and downs in real estate for sure. So it's nice to just be able to talk to somebody like, this deal just fell apart, or, oh yay, this everything's working out. So I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you and James make a great point that this is, being a real estate agent is a difficult job, because you're not just buying or helping to sell this house. You're also the therapist, helping with loans. That absolutely, there's so much that goes into it. To do it alone is impossible. So that could be where some people are struggling, that they're ready to partner up. So Ilana, how about you? Do you have a right-hand man or a woman that helps you? How are you getting by with doing all this production?
My right-hand woman is just right here. Yes, just like James said, I think it's just the most important thing if you're trying to build a team and just trying to build your career, is to align yourself with somebody that has your same values and understands how you want to run your business, that you can 100% trust. In my case, I have Rebecca. We've been working for years, and she's my right-hand man or woman, or however you want to say it. She knows every aspect of my business. She gets CC'd on everything. And I just know that, having somebody on your side that will take care of, the little things or the big things, and just has your best interests, in mind, is the best thing that you can align yourself. After that, it's like growing the team comes secondary, because to me, aligning yourself with the right people and not just hiring anybody, but you have to make sure that you hire people that share your same values, that are going to represent your brand the way that you represent yourself, and just align yourself with those kinds of people. The way that I build my team, I don't have a huge team. I'm still a little bit more of a control freak. I do tend to go to every listing appointment, every appraisal, every inspection, it's really hard for me to let go, just because my clients hired me to do their job, and I'm going to make sure that I'm there for them, and I make them feel like, even though sometimes my family life does suffer, I do have, a couple buyer's agents that, will go ahead and show homes while I am doing other things. But my team is pretty small.
No, that's great.
That's it.
Absolutely great. I'm loving what everybody's saying. So part of your team, you can also consider the tools that you use. So I know a big question that a lot of people are curious about is, what type of CRMs are you guys using and trusting your clients with? Because that can be a huge thing, how it's functioning, everything that it does for you. So what is your go-to CRM? And I'll put this to Mike and Jessica.
So we recently switched over to Boomtown in 2020, this year, right? And we love it. It's, in my opinion, it's a really great CRM. It is really able to put us in a position where it manages our database, and we're able to set reminders. I mean, it does everything for me and our team in terms of knowing who's in the pipeline, where they're at in the process, if they're in escrow, what production looks like. I think from a leadership standpoint, in terms of reviewing who's on top of, following up with contacts, it's a really great system for us. And they have this really great concierge service that helps out with reaching out to inbound leads that come in instantly. So if we are with a client, or if it's 10 o'clock at night, there's a live concierge service that actually reaches out. So the system, for me, in our opinion, I think has been really fantastic, especially as the team grows. So yeah, Boomtown's our CRM of choice.
Okay. James, George, and Charissa, I've been to your website, and the first thing it asks me is, can I help you? So what technology and systems are you using for your CRM?
So we use Real Geeks. So that's what we use for our website, and then for our CRM system. Very similar to Boomtown. There's a few like Chime, etc., that are out there that are all very similar. I use Real Geeks because I listened to a podcast of someone who's now my real estate coach. This was 2 years ago or something now, and he recommended them. So that's when I took the plunge and joined with them. We've also just signed up to Dotloop as well, which is not a CRM system as such, but we use it for our transaction or management software. So, but I highly recommend Real Geeks. We also are going to be looking to expand, and as part of EXP, we get KV Core for free, and we are currently reviewing both of them. We're always going to stay with Real Geeks for our San Diego one, but it looks like we might start using KV Core as well, because we get it effectively for free. And it looks like it's just as good. So I'd highly recommend, if anyone is interested, then check out all of the options and see which one is good for you.
Okay.
But
and Ilana, yes. Ilana, how about you? Have you bounced between CRMs and found one that you love? You still kind of looking, or what's working for you?
We have, just like Mike and Jessica, we used Boomtown for, I think it was more than 8 years. I just recently in June switched companies and decided to use their CRM, and I'm very happy with it. It's just having those systems in place, right? Every CRM has different things, different reminders. I do have 2 assistants that help me with my CRM and send reminders and stuff, but most of my CRM, it's also in here. I have a list of all my anniversaries with my clients and everything on my phone, and I don't really send a lot of computerized emails and things like that. They actually come in a very more genuine and personal touch, where it's helped my business grow. So although the CRM helps get all my contacts in place and helps me remember dates and keeps me on track, my 2 assistants are more of my CRM, where they kind of just tell me what's going to happen, what day I close the house, like, hey, you know what, on this, they set a calendar in my desk and I could see, okay, the month of September, and you know, throughout the years, this is when I closed this house, this is what I did. So the first thing I do when I come in the office, I reach out to all my past clients on the day that it happened, and I just send them the picture of when we closed, blah, blah, blah. And that's what kind of helps me as the CRM too.
Beautiful.
So I'm still using, being able to switch from Boomtown that I've used and loved for years, and now using Compass, which is free. And not spending that amount, and being able to still, you know, with the market being so busy and switching to a new brokerage right at the height of, you know, an incredible market, has been a really easy transition. You know, but it's just, I think it just comes from years of experience and being able to have all your systems in place and know what it takes to, you know, how to handle the business.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's some consistency in this very inconsistent 2020 that we're having right now. So I want to kind of take it into, we've clearly been through a lot of changes and rapid changes throughout COVID-19, including not being able to hold an open house. So some of the systems that you've set in place as a real estate agent and your team, you're not able to do them. So how have you adapted to that? And I'll go to Charissa for that.
Well, during the, you know, the shutdown, when everything seemed uncertain and it was cold and rainy and we didn't know what, you know, COVID was, you know, we took like a pause to just like, okay, what's going on? And then it was really great, again, having a team, because we all just encouraged each other. And James was great at just holding us all accountable. I mean, every morning we had a Zoom call, and we just like accountability tracker. And it wasn't so much being like, we really wanted to be sensitive for what's going on in the world. So we weren't obviously calling people like, hey, can I sell your house? Like that wasn't happening. It was more just like the touches, the check-ins. Like, you know, I have an 84-year-old client and he's lonely. And so I just called him up and like talked to him for 30 minutes. He just wanted somebody to talk to. So it's those, it changed to more just personal. I mean, I grew my business very authentically and organically. My clients are all referrals. I don't do any leads or anything personally. So for me, it's just really organically staying in touch with my people and just being a nice person. How are you doing? What's going on? You know, is there anything I could do for you? Can I bring you food because you might not want to go to the grocery store? So that's what we did. And in doing that, I really think that people that did that during the shutdown stood out. Like those are the people that ended up being really successful, because there was a period where we weren't sure what was going to happen. It kind of felt like, oh, okay, which way is this going to go? And then I saw, especially online, it was pretty drastic. It was like feast or famine for realtors. There was people that were getting nothing. And then there was people like ourselves that we've never been busier. And I think those months of just staying the course, touching your database, making those calls, you know, just being a nice person and touching in, or, you know, checking in with people really set us apart.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. You did get that sense of, you know, it's going to separate the good from the great really quick. And that came into play. And I oddly feel the same way, that I think COVID has made us more intimate, even though we can't be socially close and we have to stay distant physically. It's made people go deeper into their relationships. So Mike and Jessica, how about you? What are some adaptations that you've kind of put into place for you and your team to move forward successfully with the pandemic and everything that's going on?
Definitely everything that Charissa said.
Ditto.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah, 100%. I can't agree with Charissa more. I mean, that was the first thing that came to mind for us. It's like, how do we become more real than we feel we already are, right? Like how do we stand out now and actually step up because we actually care, right? And that was just making those calls. Like Charissa mentioned, a lot of our business has originally, a lot of our business started with doing open houses. That was kind of our bread and butter, and prospecting over the phone. As that started to grow, our business started coming from our past clients and referral business. So we instantly just wanted to reach out to everybody. And again, as Charissa mentioned, just make sure that they were in a good position. In regards to how we transitioned with the team, and what was the second part of that question? I'm sorry.
Just how you, like, what did you put into place to make yourself efficient for the changes that were going on?
Yeah, so we had, I mean, I can't agree more. Like, it was cold, it was raining, we sat down, we're like, what do we do now? Like, we're not, like, and for us, it was really scary because we're in the process of opening up our first office, right? So we had to make adjustments instantly. One of the first things we actually did is we looked at our P&L, and we really made adjustments to a lot of our, we cut a lot of expenses just to prepare for what we didn't know what was potentially coming, right? So that was one of the first adjustments that we made as a business. After we did that, we sat down with the team, and honestly, my thoughts were that, you know, there are going to be a lot of agents right now, right, March, April, that are going to be scared and they're not going to know what to do. And I think this is an opportunity for us to really stand out and make a difference, not just in our community, but with our clients, right? So, you know, in terms of adjustments, obviously we weren't cold calling anymore. We held off on that. We weren't asking people, you know, over the phone if they wanted to sell their house or any selling a house. We had to change some things. But I can't really think of anything.
It was a while ago.
It was I blocked it out of my head. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
We did a lot of, our team did a lot of warm calling, circle prospecting in neighborhoods, and just asking neighbors, just providing resources. We would call during like the toilet paper shortage and the hand sanitizer shortage. We would call stores and ask them when their shipments would come in. So if it was on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock, we would circle prospect and just let people know, like, hey, I'm a local realtor, I live in your neighborhood. Just so you know, the CVS down the street, if you need anything, they get shipments of toilet paper. You know, like, it was just more of coming from a point of caring about people instead of asking for business. That was the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, like Sharissa said, we did a lot of Zoom calls with our team just to keep them motivated and positive, because there were a few people that were just getting kind of bummed out, to be honest. And then we upped our video game on social media, not so much like listing videos, but we started a blog, and we just tried our best to be human with people, because a lot of people people are online all the time, but more and more people were online just looking for that sense of normalcy. So watching our videos and just staying in contact with our people that way.
Yeah.
No, very true. Speaking of video and being out there, James, I know you come from a background of TV and radio. Is there some kind of, you know, are you doing more videos, or how are you staying in touch with your clients during the pandemic? And what are you doing to go above and beyond to kind of get recognized?
So yeah, I did video from the first moment I came into real estate. One of the things that I noticed 3 years ago was that no one was doing listing videos, for example. And then I started doing listing videos, and then everyone finally caught on, and everyone should, if they're not by now, be doing a listing video every time. But I've always done videos on the community, and we actually started like this show that we were going to be doing we went to, you know, a massive trampoline park called Sky Zone in Carlsbad. We did this whole live show, and we were going to do one once a month, and we were going to get lots of local businesses involved. And then that got shut down. So I was like, how can I help local businesses? So what we did is we did a week. To begin with, did 2 a week, and we interviewed local businesses, and we were just like, okay, how does this affect your business, and how can we support you? Because it's one of these things that some people didn't know that you could get takeout from a certain restaurant, or do this or do that. And I even got to the point where with Sky Zone, they were on the verge of going under, and it's been really tough for them because they've had like literally no income at all. So I looked at it, and I was just like, I'm actually going to give up a large percentage of my commission to them if we can close any deals. And I was just looking to try and do anything I can to try and help local businesses, because myself personally, I have a business background. I was unfortunate that my dad went bankrupt when I was younger. So what's going on right now really hits hard for me. So I was looking at it, yes, I need to make enough money to support my family. I need to make sure that we make enough money as a team. So we need to do a certain amount of deals. But at the same time, what can we do for our community? Because for me, what's the point of living and having loads of money if all your local businesses have gone under? There's just no point. They are the heart and soul of our community. So I was trying to do whatever I can, and still am, to try and help and support the community. And I highly urge everyone to do the same.
I absolutely agree. I think being involved in your community is the #1 wholesome way to show people that you're not just a seller. You are someone who wants to be a champion for change for them, and you really do care. Sorry, my phone rang. Can everybody still hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to go to Ilana. I know for you, being a mother, in all the change in the pandemic, there's a lot of agents out there who now have to be, you know, the teacher, that there's so many things. How are you holding yourself up, still doing all that you do and being successful in real estate and a mother and everything?
So of course my morning routine changed for sure, right? Because you would just take the kids to school and then get to the office, make your phone calls, do whatever you needed to do. But now you're dealing with, you know, children that are not loving the distance learning, and you have to set them up, and it's kind of hard to leave the house, but you also, both my husband and I work, and, you know, we have a job to do. As far as dealing with that it's been tough. I'm not going to lie. It's been a total transition, you know, having, you know, 2 younger boys that, you know, it's like they don't like structure in the way that they don't like the way that they are learning right now. So when I get up in the morning, I actually, you know, hang out with them and feed them breakfast and sit with them and help them log in. And, you know, I'm there for them, but then I have to walk out the door and, you know, go to work. So that has changed a little bit in my morning routine because I am not as present with my clients in the morning. I actually don't show up to the office probably till around 9:30, 10 o'clock, when I'm usually at the office by the time I drop them off at school, or my husband will drop them off at school, and I'm here at 7 just getting most of the little work done so that I can go ahead with the rest of my day. It's been challenging, but it also, you know, makes us who we are. We're going to be able to, you know, we've made it happen, and it's become the new normal. And I think it's just everything has to do with success, is having things in place. And even if you get curveballs thrown at you, is how are you going to structure and figure out those curveballs so that you can keep on moving forward and make it happen, right? I mean, sometimes we're doing homework at 9 p.m., right? And it's okay. It's okay to do that, but it's tough being a mom and being in real estate when real estate right now is not 24/7, especially how incredibly busy this market is. And we're so blessed to be busy. We're so blessed to be successful. And, you know, there's no time for whining. There's just time for, you know, just being grateful and just getting through the day.
Absolutely. So Ilana, I can sense that you're very positive in everything that comes at you. I know right now that a lot of buyers and sellers are very nervous. So is there something that you're telling them that maybe, you know, the agents out there can learn from, that you're finding is successful for them to kind of ease those feelings? It is a good time to buy or sell. What are you doing there?
I don't think the sellers are very nervous. I think the sellers, I mean, everything's going on above, you know, multiple offers with no appraisals. Some people are It's the poor buyers right now, right? Because they feel, you know, interest rates are so low and there's so much more buyers out there than there is listings. So the supply and demand is not there. Like, it's just, there's no supply. But what I do keep on telling my clients, and just in talking to the lenders and stuff like that, is it is an election year. We don't know what's going to happen with the market. It could go, I think, either way. But I don't think right now interest rates are going to go up per se. I don't know what's going to happen after the election. It's just putting your best foot forward. But I tell my clients, don't just rush into a house because it's the only house out there, right? A house has to feel like home. So the best advice I can give the buyers is, you know, align yourself with the right agent that has your best interest in mind. And I know it's a crazy market out there. This is where, going back to the beginning of the pandemic and stuff, I felt like it was so important to connect with other agents and build relationships, right? Build relationships with the other agents and be able to let them know who you are, how you work. You know, you're not a difficult agent. Your job is to get, you know, to bring your client home, and, you know, everybody has the same goal in mind. And being able to create those relationships within your community, within the local agents in North County, will set you apart to being able to get your client's offer accepted, especially not being, it's being pretty difficult for a buyer to find the right home. So having good relationships and being able to present and do the right offer, it's like to make your clients stand on top and, align yourself with great lenders, will just make it better for buyers. Because I think that's the hard part right now.
Yes, the whole team.
They're not suffering that much. They're happy.
And I see it. I'm in escrow, so I see the deals come in, and yes. I see, well, this is very creative of just to get it accepted. So I'm going to throw this up into the air, whoever is daring and willing to answer. Is there, I knew you spoke of some, is there one specific thing that you're doing to get your offers accepted for those buyers? And you've had a lot of success. Whoever wants to take that on.
Well, we just got an offer for one of my clients. They had 2 or 3 offers apparently way over what we offered, and they accepted ours. We had a limit where we were going to go to. Great example earlier of saying connecting with agents. I had a short amount of time to try and make friends with this agent. That's one of the first things you've got to do, is let that agent know they're going to be working with someone who is experienced and who's going to make sure this deal closes, and showing that you've got good communication. That is one of the biggest things. I've been trying to write an offer on another property, and I managed to get hold of the listing agent this morning, couldn't get hold of them the whole of yesterday. If that's the other way around, they're not going to work with you. That's one of the first things that I highly recommend. But then we wrote this massive long email explaining how, they're a young family, they're going to be starting a family soon. And this is the highest that they can go. I promise we'll get it closed, and sent a photo with it. And just tried to do as much as I possibly could to pull on the heartstrings of the seller. And it worked. They called us back and they were like, James, can you promise me that this deal will 100% go through? Because we're leaving a lot of money on the table. We need to know that you are definitely going to close this deal, because I've advised my seller to take your deal and not the higher offers. So if you go above and beyond for your clients and you are a good agent, you can get your clients those deals on the house where someone's willing to spend a ridiculous amount of money, way over what it's worth. They will take you sometimes, not always, but they will take you sometimes if you go above and beyond for your clients.
No, that's great. And that just proves that, especially right now, people are feeling those emotional side to things, and money isn't everything, because I am seeing things like, I'm not even joking to say 50 over asking, 150 over asking. It's incredible. So I'm not sure where the market's going to go. Jessica and Mike, do you have any predictions of what you feel the market's going to go?
I'm with Ilana, and I want to second what both Ilana and James are saying, just in regards to buyers, so I can really quickly. Mm-hmm. We've been having a lot of success with our clients as well, and I can't stress it enough to new agents, not just new agents, agents on our team, agents out there that may be watching this. Establishing a relationship with the listing agent before even submitting an offer is so important. And aside from that, really understanding what the seller's needs are. I hate more than anything receiving an offer in my inbox without even a phone call, right? So for me, it's really understanding the seller's needs and making sure that we're in line with those needs and see what we can do to really separate ourselves from other offers. What we've been finding very successful that might be helpful to other agents is offering sellers to remain in possession, whether it's a week or 2 weeks. I mean, that really has been helpful to us. Contingency time frames, that's a no-brainer, right? But again, really identifying what the needs of the seller are and building that relationship. I mean, I've worked with both Teresa and Ilana in the past, and we got the deal done. So again, establishing those relationships is really important. In regards to the market, as Ilana mentioned, I think it can go either way. What we're telling our clients now, obviously, if you're a seller, you're in a good position, right? Some of their concerns is, where do I go if I want to capitalize on how much equity I have in my home. Our buyers, we're just letting them know, listen, if you're planning on selling in a year or two, it's probably not the right time. But if you're going to live there for the next 7, 10, 12 years, you can move through a cycle and take advantage of cheap money, right? Elections always naturally have made adjustments. I'm hopeful that rates remain low. I'm hopeful that the buyers remain confident. If you would ask me 2 years ago about 2020, I would have thought, hey, this is going to be the year that we see some adjustments, some shifts, and we were prepared for that. And then COVID happened. I was like, see, I told you. And then 2 months later, I'm like, wait a second, nothing's happening, right? So it's so hard to say. It really, really is. There's that crystal ball thing, and I don't think we know. All we can do is just adjust and adapt day by day.
Absolutely. And I think it's important, like you say, to convey that to your clients too, that you aren't the crystal ball, and it's just being able to be there for them when it's right for them to buy or sell their home. Teresa, how about you? Do you see any trends coming in the market or have any predictions?
I mean, I think I'd echo what everybody said so far. I mean, I've been telling my clients, sellers, it's a no-brainer. I told them if you're thinking about selling sometime in the next couple of years, I would highly suggest to get on right now. Buyers, I'm obviously say I don't have a crystal ball, elections, cycles. I mean, everything's just bonkers right now. It's not a normal, we've never experienced something like this. I always tell my buyers to focus on the payment, not the price. So especially with rates being so low, if you can afford that payment and you're going to hold on to it, like it's not a quick flip or a 2-year thing, you're going to hold on to it. You're in California, Southern California real estate always comes back up. So if you can focus on the payment, not the price, then you can get in whenever, like that's what even though I know it's high right now, it's obviously high right now, but if you're going to be in there long-term, things that I thought would never, I bought my first house in LA and I thought it was such a ridiculous price. And now it's worth 300,000 more than, the ridiculous price when I bought it. So it's Southern California. So yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I mean, I bought a flip house and in the middle of the pandemic, did all ran comps, ran all the numbers, everything, and jumped on it. Didn't account for a pandemic, worldwide pandemic. That was not in the scenario. And then luckily I just kept, moving forward. And what choice do I have? I should keep moving forward. And then it was actually quite a success. I'm looking again at possibly doing it, but even, I'm in real estate too. I'm a homeowner. I've invested. I'm personally a little iffy about jumping into this market, for a short term. A long term, no big deal. You'll always do okay. But yeah, it's tumultuous times.
Yeah, great advice. It kind of makes me think of, so there's a lot of possibly frustrated buyers because there is such, so many low inventory right now. Does anybody use a buyer's agreement? Anybody out there use one of those, or do they stand by that? What are your feelings to anybody who wants to take on that question?
I'll take it on. I don't typically use them because my buyers typically are referrals or friends of mine. So there's already that trust level there. We have a buyer's agent and I do encourage her to get one because she's running around like mad with people that are non-committal, with people that, will use a Redfin agent to open the door. So, time is money. So I don't want her to waste her time. It depends on your relationship with your people. I'm also not, I don't know. I don't hold on to if somebody did that to me, I would just be like, well, we're probably not right to work together anyways. So I just, that trust of the relationship is already there. So I personally don't, but I'm not against them, if that makes sense.
No, I love it. And I know, like we said, we started a little late, so I am going to take just a few more minutes. I want to do something kind of cool. I want to go one by one and give you about 45 seconds to look in the camera and picture your previous self when you were just getting started, or maybe the biggest hurdle that you've experienced in real estate. And what advice would you give your former self? And I'll start with Ilana first.
Well, I mean, I started real estate when you were able to present the offers to the seller, right? As a buyer's agent, you would call the listing agent and you would sit right next to the seller and present the offer. So I've seen real estate evolve, and so easy at your fingertips. The advice I would give myself would be that there's so many agents that feel like this work is part-time. It really isn't. In order to be successful, you cannot be part-time. It's not 9-to-5 job, just during the weekends. As long as you're at peace with that and you give it your all and your work ethic is there, you're going to be a very successful agent. I've always been pretty genuine with my clients. I've never been to help you, and I'm so blessed that you chose me to be your agent because there's millions of us out there. So I think as a new agent, it's just maybe working from your heart, right? It's like, I know that there's a lot of coaching programs out there. I mean, I've done them. Is maybe more come and see what comes from your heart, and because the clientele can see that. They can see who you are, and as long as they see that you're genuine and you gain their trust and you're a go-getter, right? You can make it happen, that it's gonna make you be more successful. Having systems in place, this is where the coaching does kind of work, is being able to, plan your day and having those systems in place, which I didn't at the beginning. My kids were really young. My first two, I have 4, but my first 2 were really young. So, it's like everything was scrambled. But once I was able to kind of plan out my day, have systems in place and have boundaries, after 8 o'clock, unless it's a very important phone call, I will take it. But, being able to give that time to your family too. So that's the advice I would give.
Beautiful advice. Gorgeous. I'm going to go to Mike and Jessica. So same to you, 45 seconds each. Mm-hmm. What would you give advice to your previous self?
I want to go first. I think, like, when I first started real estate.
Yes, or your biggest hurdle in real estate.
I think, like Ilana said, I think a lot of us on the panel have a lot of the same mindsets, right? One for me is systems. When I first started, I was kind of shooting from the hip, and it worked actually. And then one year it didn't work. So then I got into coaching and mentoring, got a mentor, and really started getting our systems in place. Our business really evolved because we always felt like, if we do the right things for our people, like, positive will follow that, right? And that's kind of been our motto. So I think one of the things that I really wish I thought more about when I first started was that I didn't have to fit into this box that I thought was real estate, right? And as we grow our business, I think it's so important that people realize that, right? Like, this is an industry where we're in a position where we're able to really change people's lives, right? And it sounds kind of cliche and silly, but it's true, and people really look to us. So as long as you're doing the right things, and you don't have to wear this suit and tie and be this person that you feel you need to be as you're starting out, right? So I think that's something that I would tell my future self. But again, really systems and treating your business like a business, and everything else. Again, if you're just good to people, good things will follow. So
yeah, we hang out too much because he has all of my answers. But I think I would second that and just add, just to keep going with the long hours, and then mindset is everything. I remember I was, when I joined Keller Williams, I took Bold, and I hated it. I didn't believe in it at first, and then they really work on mindset, which I was having a hard time with. I was working in a restaurant, and I was broke, and they really push that mindset shift where it's not about the money and it's not about the transaction. And like Mike said, it sounds cliche, but when you actually have that mindset shift, and it's real, it changes a lot of things. It really does. So mindset, mentorship, and just put in the work. Like Ilana said, it's not part-time. I mean,
that's the other last thing.
It.
That's what we tell our team. Work works, right?
Work works.
That's a big part of this.
It's true. I know so many people who get into real estate thinking it's going to be easy, and it's the complete opposite. So great advice. Now to you, James, what would you tell your previous self?
Well, one of the main things which Ilana mentioned earlier was, a full-time job. First of all, I mean, I came into it knowing that, but I think a lot of people don't. And then one of the things that I made a mistake with is I didn't have any budget coming into it. I started off with zero with no contacts. And if you look at Jason Simard, who's my coach, if you look at him, he borrowed $50,000 to start his real estate company when he first started and closed 130 deals in his first year. And I wish I would have somehow got the money and invested money into lead generation, into a website, etc. So I could have started off where effectively it took me a year of doing stuff. I could have started off from, a year before closing a lot of business if I'd have got the lead generation right, the systems right. And one of the things by doing that is educating yourself. I was quite arrogant thinking I didn't need a real estate coach for the first, year and a half of real estate. I got a real estate coach and it just completely changed things. So I highly recommend people looking at getting a real estate coach and seeing this as a business. This is what 99% of agents make the mistake of doing. They work solely as a solo agent. It's not a business. You're just working, literally 24/7. Think of it as a business from the moment you get your real estate license. Have a 30-day, 3-month, 1 year, 5-year, 10-year plan. Invest decent money into it. Get a real estate coach. Do the right things. Follow what the experts do. Follow what people are doing. There's people out there closing hundreds of deals a year. There's podcasts on them. There's videos on them. There's books that they've written. Educate yourself. Do what they do, and you will be successful.
I love it. Emulate what works. You'll get it done. And it's true. You are a business. And I think that's very hard for people to see, is that they are the business and to market themselves in a way that works. So great advice. Charissa, last but not least, how about you?
Well, like Ilana, 17 years ago was a different world than today. So a little grace for myself in saying that we didn't have, everything at our fingertips, that, coaching and the internet and, everything's so easy to get now. So there's really no excuses if you want to be successful. I guess the question would be, where do you want your business to go? I feel like I'm successful for where I want to be, because I'm a mom of 4. So like what I might want to do might look different than James or Ilana or, the Solis team. And that's okay. So you need to ask, like, where do you personally want to be? What do you want your business to look like? Real estate, I love it, but it's not my world, so I need to have a balance. But if I could talk to myself back then, I would definitely say, like, there's just, like, work works and activity breeds activity. There's just no way around it. You have to just put in the time and the effort, the systems, the CRM, the database, the keeping in touch with your clients. It just works. So when we have new agents and they see us be successful and they see us doing this, it's like, that didn't happen overnight. We did the systems. I mean, I remember years ago, I did a Buffini training, and it's simple. Nothing's mind blowing about it. But to me, I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, I know people and they all live in houses. So I'm going to talk to every single one of them until they tell me not to talk to them. Everybody has 15, 20 agents that they know at least. So, but mine is like, well, when you like me and trust me, I'm going to put myself out there as an option, even if I know that you bought your house from somebody else, or I know you'll never use me. You might refer me to somebody else. So I just totally changed my mindset of, I don't have to be worried about offending somebody because I know they bought their house from somebody else 7 years ago. I mean, I've literally had people use me, even though I know they liked their previous agent, but through the years, we've just established an organic, real friendship together. So systems and consistency, doing the work. That's it.
Great advice, right? The surefire way to fail is to not try. So you have done the opposite, and it's wonderful. So Ilana, Mike, Jessica, Charissa, and James, thank you so much. I think we're going to open it up to see if there's any questions. If Melody, you want to help me to see if any questions have come in.
Yes, thank you all so much. That was amazing. I don't see any questions that have come back, just comments of, wow, this is awesome advice. So huge thank you to you all for taking the time to come and share your tips and your experience with young professionals of North County. We really appreciate it. We learned a lot from you today. We'll be posting this recording on Facebook. And I just can't say thanks enough. This was awesome. And Tawny, you are an amazing moderator. Thank you so much for moderating this. You are
Live from my
awesome
bedroom.
at what
Thank
you do. I love it. Yeah, this event, it's $50 at the door, and we have brunch and have it at a great space. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do that. But this was pretty great to be able to come and have this brainstorming session from the comfort of your own home or office. So
yes.
Thank you all for being flexible.
Just want to say thank you guys again. You guys did awesome. So I really appreciate you allowing us to be a part of this. It means a lot to us. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you to everyone else on here. I learned a lot as well. It's always great listening to other experts in the field.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we really enjoyed getting to hear from you all. So thank you again. And one more time, big thank you to our sponsors for YPN this year: Oakwood Escrow, Rancho Ted, Hard Money Lending, Jake Caesar with State Farm, Windermere Homes and Estates, Team Mortgage, Bird's Eye Home Inspection, and A Better Home Inspection. We really appreciate the support. Hopefully we'll be able to all be together in person before too long. But thank you all so much for making this possible to come on here virtually. Big shout out to our top producers, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
what an honor. Thank you guys.